What is up, good people? Jungle Link here. Hope you're doing well. A lot of people freaking out. Bitcoin crashing below $70,000. Like, you got to be happy where we are from where we came from. Bitcoin holding in strong, sitting at 69,000. Ethereum and XRP pretty flat in the day, but we do have some movement from Solana up about 6.5%. We see Aptos up about 13%. And outside of that, not a lot going on, but hanging in there, holding its value. And I'm not too worried about crypto in general. I think, when you look at valuations, we got a lot of growth ahead of us. I'm not concerned at all. I'm really looking at the broader economy, especially here in the U.S. As the Federal Reserve continues with this restrictive policy, the idea of interest rates higher for longer. Do they really plan on doing that, or are they just kind of jawboning, trying to bring things down a little bit? We don't know at this point in time. We'll have to see it play out. We've talked about the areas of the economy to keep your eye on where cracks may emerge first. I'm worried about that more so than crypto in general. Because, of course, if we have disruption out there, it's going to affect crypto values in the short term. Long term, we will have a full bull run. Not a big deal. Keep your eye out there. Secondarily, part of what has fueled this massive growth, of course, is Bitcoin ETFs. That approval has brought a lot of money flowing into this space. A lot of eyeballs, a lot of excitement. It's a good thing. It's spurring growth. But further, it's also, we're tied to tech. And it's that AI growth, that craze, that money flowing in here, that frenzy. AI is going to be the future. And we need AI to continue to deliver. If you've been paying attention, if you use these different services, Claude 3 has just leaped ahead of GPT. Maybe not in terms of stats on the page, but when you use it, it's a whole different game here. OpenAI has to deliver a big upgrade here for GPT 4.5 Turbo. It's got to be good, and I don't think they can sit around too long. If they do that, if we see a big upgrade there for GPT, I think that will help continue a lot of that frenzy, a lot of that capital flowing into tech, and that excitement in the short term for AI. Long term, this thing's going to change the world. But in the short term, we want to see that excitement and that money flowing into tech. Because of that, if AI continues to deliver throughout this year, and we see, these Bitcoin ETFs stay strong and that capital flowing in, everything's going to be fine here. Just keep an eye on those areas. Elizabeth Warren feeling the heat as crypto industry looks to widen its influence in Washington. Elizabeth Warren emerges as a target. The senator is a major critic of the wealthy industry. That's funny how they term that. But toppling her in Massachusetts would be a challenge. And I agree. I've said that from the beginning. This is no joke. She's a reptilian of the highest order. She knows how to play this game. She's a tough one for anyone to run down here. But if anyone can do it, it's John Dean. We've said it before. I said it at the beginning. This guy can't make a difference in this case. He's not a security attorney. What does he know? Man, did he ever make a difference. He was the X factor there. That's probably the reason why, in terms of what was important to XRP investors, we had a sweeping victory here. Everything we needed, we got, and he was a big part of that. Of course, Ripple's attorneys did a great job as well, but he played a major, major part in that case out of nowhere when no one thought he could. So I think John Deaton can deliver a big, big performance here. And what is most important, not that he wins, and I hope that he does, but that he scares the daylights out of Elizabeth Warren and every politician out there that is going to see this is not a sustainable stance to be anti-crypto. We're coming for you. The money's flowing in. The support's flowing in. And that ain't a winning rhetoric to continue with this anti-crypto stuff. It's important to get behind John. Do whatever you can out there. Follow him on Twitter, on the Senate account. If you can donate, great. Do that. If you could just spread the word, fantastic. Share things on Twitter. Share stuff here on YouTube, whatever. Just do your part. That's all that matters here. Not exactly how you contribute, but we all do in our own way. And I'll tell you this, besides the crypto stuff, there's a lot of reasons why I would like to see Elizabeth Warren tossed, out of her seat, more so than even crypto. I think she's dishonest. That whole gimmick of where she was writing Gary Gensler's, both the questions and his answers to those questions, all sorts of stuff. She needs to go, but we need to show that it's not a smart move to be anti-crypto. That's number one most important thing there. Hopefully John Deaton can jump up here, shock the world, and if anyone can, I still say it's John. We see XRP declared not a security, but regulatory challenges remain. And I brought up this article because I still see this discussion taking place on Twitter. What did the judge actually rule? And look, I'm not an attorney. I am not going to pretend to be one here, but I think if we just look at this logically, and that's what I liked about Judge Torres's decision, it's easy to see her reasoning, her logic, and what she is saying here. When she said it's okay to trade XRP on the secondary market, even if it's Ripple, I think that's a powerful statement. You can't sell securities, stocks, bonds, classic securities, where the thing you're selling itself is a security. You can't sell that on the secondary market if you don't have the licensure to do it. That's an illegal securities transaction. She's clearly stating that XRP is not a security, and we don't need Judge Torres for that. We understand this is not equity in an enterprise. We understand this is not a debt position. We're not entitled to principal plus interest back. Clearly, XRP and most cryptocurrencies are not securities. Now, when she ruled that the secondary market is okay, does that mean that that is gospel? Well, no. An appeals decision could overturn that. We could have conflicting decisions, possibly in the Coinbase case, the Binance case, or other crypto cases out there. So there's a lot of paths here where, maybe Judge Torres's decision on some of the specifics doesn't hold up. I think it will. I think it makes sense, but only time will prove that out. So there's still a question of, when crypto may be under the SEC's jurisdiction and when it will not be. But I don't think there is any, and I mean anyone out there that can argue that XRP itself is some sort of security analogous to a stock or a bond. It just doesn't make sense. It never did, and it's what we've been saying from the very beginning. And that's pretty much what this article is telling us here. Prosecutors, they want $11 billion, a judgment against Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, how would he ever pay this? But hope they get it, and then a little more. They're also asking for 40 to 50 years in prison. I guess the max sentence was over 100 years. Why they're not asking for the max here, I have no idea. And Sam Bankman-Fried is asking for a maximum sentence of 6.5 years here. So we'll see what he ultimately gets. Whatever it is, I'm sure it will not be enough. We see JPMorgan saying Ethereum could be a meaningful earnings driver for Coinbase. And this is funny. The bank raised its price target for Coinbase, the exchange, to $150 from $95. Now, right now, the stock's sitting at, I think, $230, $240, something like that. So above their price targets here. But, there's just so much that a smart contract blockchain like this drives here. And we see the crypto market has been focused on the new money going into spot Bitcoin ETFs. But JPMorgan sees the Ethereum use cases transcend the crypto ecosystem and we think create a robust earning driver in the near term for Coinbase. So you have staking revenues, you have dApps, you have all sorts of stuff they can do with this. They all see the progression of Ethereum's roadmap, including the Dencun upgrade, which occurs in a few weeks. And this is going to be a positive thing for Ethereum. And of course, also for exchanges like Coinbase. I agree with them. There's one thing to remember with Ethereum, though. Everyone's gunning for them. Every single major blockchain out there is a competitor. You don't have a lot of people that are trying to compete with Bitcoin. No one's doing it successfully, at least. A lot of brilliant people building smart contract blockchains. And with all these upgrades, that's also chance for error. So just keep that in mind. It's not in the bag. We don't know how this will play out. You want to have Ethereum. You want to have Ethereum layer 2s, of course, but you also want to have those competitive layer 1 smart contract blockchains because as we look out 3, 4, 5 years, you really don't know who ultimately wins that sector. MicroStrategies. Massive debt-fueled Bitcoin purchase could make a future downturn worse, says JPMorgan. A lot of people cheer him on when he recklessly keeps taking out debt and buying more Bitcoin, and I get it. It's a crypto champion out there that's going all in, and yay for that. But I would rather he did this in a way where he's built for any sort of downturn, where he's built for bear. I think that last downturn when we saw Bitcoin get in the teens, 16, 15, 16,000, however low it went, I don't remember. I wouldn't be surprised if he got kind of close to getting called on some of those loans. And I just don't think there's any reason to take out this much debt and continue to stack Bitcoin at these high prices because anything can happen and it has nothing to do with crypto. That's the point. Crypto ultimately could be wildly successful. Bitcoin could be around for however long. But if we have any disruption out there, you're going to see market turmoil, that price go down, and he's just loading himself up, in my opinion, with too much debt. And we see JPMorgan also agrees with that. MicroStrategy uses leverage to build its Bitcoin trove, but it could deepen a downturn, especially prices are going down and he's forced to sell. He's not going to want to, we know that, but what if he has to? Also, Mike Novogratz warning that too much leverage fueling the Bitcoin rally could spark a pullback. You got to be careful. It's not important that you have, you gamble with a bunch of loans and get as much Bitcoin as you can. It's more important that you can hold that Bitcoin long term or whatever crypto investment you make, provided you invest in some good ones. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, I hope that it works out well for him, but many times when people are acting like this, it just doesn't. And it can be a little bit of a market risk, but that's his life, right? If he has to sell, if he goes under, that Bitcoin will go to a smarter investor that will be built for the long term. I see this by John, I don't know how to say his name, Caballero, and he's talking about that Michael Saylor's dumping on people. I don't technically have any issue with him selling shares. If he wants to cash in his value, that's his business. Those are his shares to sell. I said at the time, though, the transaction didn't make a lot of sense. Not sure exactly what he's doing, but we see these warning signs going out there that there might be something going on at MicroStrategies. I'm not worried about him selling the stock as much as I am him taking on reckless and too much debt. We'll see it play out, though. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.